Well, hood respect.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
It's the end when she's shaking her head like, why you make me do
But no,
that?
you're still on YouTube through me, dude.
It should be over soon. Oh well, yeah. You
Yeah,
caught
I'm
that at
still
the last minute.
Yeah, I'm still streaming it on YouTube, man. That way you're still on YouTube.
Nah,
I ain't got no
figured
strikes,
one
so
of
I'm
you
not worried
guys
about
would
it.
do that.
Huh?
No, I figured one of you guys would do that. That's why I wanted to open the panel before I just moved the show over. At least one of you guys will take it on YouTube. I don't really care about that side of it, but I wanted to do my own thing on Rumble just because, you know, Rumble's its own thing. You got to do Rumble content. You got to dedicate to Rumble. Shout out to DJ Brum over here in the Rumble chat with the $2 Rumble donation. He says, just paying my tithes. Appreciate you, bro. Is there a way for me to actually pin these comments on the screen? I don't know if I can do that.
You should
I don't
be
know
able
how
to
to operate these Rumble controls.
You can't just click them in the back chat like we normally do when they pop up.
Everything looks different on Rumble. I don't know how it works here, man. I'm learning as I go.
No, aren't you operating through StreamYard though?
I am still in StreamYard. I'm only in StreamYard.
Well, then just click on the comment, and it should just pop up.
It doesn't do that for Rumble. It doesn't seem to do that.
That's weird.
What's going on? What's wrong?
The Hood's trying to do the integration.
Manipulate. Yeah, I can't really manipulate the Rumble chat like I want to. I don't know how to operate Rumble at all. I'm like a noob here.
He wants to highlight the comment or whatever to put it up on screen.
Comment. All right, he does see the pen comment. I guess it does work. All right.
Hey, so I got a question
on our end, do we?
I got a question for the chat and shit, right? Like for the people in the panel, I guess it would be like, so it'd be like I had to go through a transition, right? So just sort of like I didn't automatically just from being a Mexican American and shit, right? Like I never automatically just, well, I love America more than Mexico, right? But there was a point where I kind of like looked at like, well, I looked at actual Mexicans and they looked at me like, well, you ain't Mexican. And then I would act super Mexican around Americans and they'll be like, well, you're not acting like an American. So at a certain point, like I had to kind of be like, well, I had to kind of adjust and like realize where the fuck I actually stood in the whole scheme of it, right? So just sort of like I had to let something go and just realize that like, well, if I go to Mexico, you know, I would probably get snatched up and extorted for fucking money.
Yeah, because you're American.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I feel.
You're a gringo.
Or even Jamaica. Or look, even St. Kitts, where my dad is actually from. Like, I'm not going there just.
No, they would
like
call me whitewash.
St. Kitts,
Gringo.
man, that's like a tourist spot, man.
No, they will call me whitewash.
It really is, but I'm just making a point.
Okay.
Yeah,
like I've been American.
Like I'm not one of y'all no more.
Yeah, they call me Americanized or they call me whitewash. So it's just sort of like, all right, if that's what it is, then I'm gonna I guess my interests are with this.
How long you been in America?
Even Asians have a term for it. They call
Since
it
I was born.
Since I was born. Everybody has a term for that. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people seem to have a concept of that, where it's like once you leave long enough, if you stay away long enough, especially after a generation or two, you're locked in.
Well, it's not even that, right?
That's something that happens on an individual level, though.
Yeah, it does, because you try to find your own way because this is a multicultural society, right? So, like, let's say if you're black, right, you could easily fall into Pan-Africanism, right? Well, my version of that would be La Raza, right?
Easily, I don't know about easily.
So what have you learned in these last couple of months that you
No, it took me years for that.
You really
I had to shake that shit off for
Dave,
years.
your mic seemed a little off too. Your mic is a little far away, Dave. Sit closer to the mic, bro. I want to hear you when you curse.
What about now?
What about now? Well, shit, I had to fucking support Trump for fucking 8 years and deal with all the fucking bullshit. So it's you know, even though when he lost,
hold on, Midwest. Are you saying Are you saying you had to support Trump, or did you choose to support Trump because you like saw logic, or you just liked it, or whatever, or did you feel like coerced?
It was the logical conclusion. It's either we looked at
Okay.
we're looked at like the whore of Babylon, and we don't. You know what I mean? We're just like anybody could come over here and just take it if they have the numbers, right? Because when you look at like let's say
okay.
the
I mean,
immigration from South America, right? You could say that, right? So like let's say if I approve from that shit, right? The immigration from India, like I can't really say anything about it, right? So I can't really protect my interests if they come over here and they fucking take over a different aspect, or they blindside me, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a lot of this stuff is by design, though, man. Like the Silicon Valley types, man. They go on
divide and
by
conquer.
they go on by the you know, that they would love for the world to be like, just pick and choose,
Colorism.
swap your own adventure kind of thing, to where like no real borders, everything's just like economic only interest.
Yeah, you would own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, basically. And then what was it? Environmental social government. They love that kind of stuff, man, because it just makes you an automaton in the deal.
Yeah.
And look, they're not inviting all the 1% of the Indian subcontinent. They're going to invite all the lower caste people who are happy to have their lower caste, and they're going to be locked in their lower caste, just like in India. And that's what they want. They want a slave class, and they resent that Americans don't want to be slaves. And frankly, for some reason, this is the game plan in all of the Western nations. That's the other thing that's not allowed to be discussed. Like, why is this same thing happening in every white Western country? And frankly, as a black child of the West, because I'm Western, I'm not an African. I don't know why I would want my country to become more African. I don't even know you niggas.
It's even deeper than that, because when you think about, like, let's say what happened in Springfield, Ohio, right? Like they could easily disperse those 20,000 Haitians and shit in fucking Florida around, people that would kind of be closely assimilated to them, right? But no,
well, we
they're making
really
a bulkhead
that much, really.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're making a bulkhead.
Yeah,
They want to balkanize.
That's what people
divide and conquer.
No, that's what. I'm sorry. That's what upsets people. Is it's becoming obvious and blatant to this point where like. You really are. You are really just fucking with people now. It's not even a need. You can't even sell me on the idea that we need this. You just obviously dislike the homegrown American base, and you want us replaced eventually, sooner or later.
Here's what I don't understand though. Like, why the speed and veracity right now at this particular moment?
Because they have have an agenda.
Because that ain't really what it was. What it was all good when you thought when people thought that they was.
Dave, your shit quiet, bro. I don't know why your mic's so soft right now.
Yeah, you whispering.
Normally your shit booming.
Man,
he said something about it being all good during some part in time.
When are you going to fix your mic, Hype?
Dude, man, I don't know what's going on with this damn software, man.
Maybe it's time you just throw that one in the garbage and get a new one.
No, man, I just got a new phone. This is a brand, like they just did a system update, man, and the joints like it just started doing that like a week ago.
Okay, let me jump in.
It's not helping.
Can you hear
Snowman,
me?
I wanted to kick it to you anyway, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. I wanted to kick it to Snowman real quick.
Well, right now I'm just listening to everybody else's thoughts. That way I get caught up because I just step away for a minute, man.
Here's what happened. Can you hear me better?
Yeah,
a little bit.
All right, so I kind of refute what happened. It was all good when everybody thought the flood of masses was here to fuck up niggas, and then once it turned out that oh man they on their own shit, that's when it was a problem. So I ain't even worried about none of this shit because it's like all weapons formed against me, my niggas shall not prosper. You know what I'm saying? It was a weapon that was originally designed to fuck around and subdue me, and it fucked around in the creation and turned on the master. And what? Now I'm supposed to be all up in arms and shit? No, I'm just... this is just the trying times of the tribulation. Stay renegade, goddammit. And, I don't want to hear...
What the fuck are you talking about?
What I'm saying is, all this shit was coming in here because they was like, "Yo,
no, dude, they're bringing them here because they want to replace all of us fucking American workers that that want too much. That's what it's all about. It's to replace you, sir. It's to replace me. It is going to affect you. Why do you think they're moving so many migrants in so fast?
No. Now it's to replace you. And that's the problem now. I'm trying to tell you before when it was to fuck up and destroy me and push me out, motherfuckers will say,
Dave.
Well, I mean, the great replacement theory.
Dave, I don't think you see. I don't think you see the big picture, Dave.
Not the same apparatus.
Dave, I don't think you see the big picture, Dave.
Dave, are you in Plato's cave right now?
Yeah, he is.
He deep in the cave. He's like in the,
Plato's cave.
Closet.
As long as you don't violently take from Dave, he'll be all right with it.
Dave's on that. As long as white men are the ones that are white people are the ones that are being attacked right now, I'm cool with it. I'm going to sit back and watch it because now they finally get to feel what I felt.
Yeah, but you can't say that though. You can't say that though because the great replacement theory has been around for a while now, a good while. And then when the middle America was getting hollowed out, nobody was saying shit.
Yeah, it's been around since Occupy Wall Street.
It's been around since before then.
I think that's when people kind of like were actually like unifying together, and then they started all that racist fucking like all this pseudo racist.
They hired actors.
Yeah,
personally, in my opinion,
they had to break that shit up. They had to break that shit up.
Replacement theory started when they forced integration on all of us in America. That's when it started.
You know what they say and shit? Like, eventually, if you put enough lawyers into a problem, the motherfucker will eventually go to jail. But like, if you put enough activists into a problem, eventually you'll have infighting and shit into a situation. So that's what they did.
Black people ain't to blame for this shit.
Ain't nobody saying no black people was involved in this shit. The people doing this, they don't give a shit about color. It's class.
And this is why I'm saying this.
No, I am hearing because what you're saying is it didn't matter until Whitey started being affected by the shit. And I'm tired of hearing that be your excuse, Dave. That's your excuse for everything.
Look. Before we go too deep into Dave is the black version of La Raza. All right, because I've dealt with people like that before. They just don't. They have a blind spot, and that's what it is.
See, the problem is we have a class issue, and they wallpaper the race shit over top of it.
Yeah, and it blindsides the fuck out of you. You'd be confused about it for a long time, and then you realize why the fuck you're still arguing about the same shit 10 years later.
Well, then there's the human factor, right? Right. I mean, there's the human factor. We've been doing this shit for thousands and thousands of years. The only difference now is in microseconds because we can live stream and do George Jetson shit right now, right? And I study primitive technology. I see the same shit that we did 2,000, 5,000, 12,000 years ago that we're doing now. So I'm kind of from my standpoint,
exactly.
I deal in technology, the more modern technology, but I also practice primitive technology. Like I get my hands dirty and shit, sleep outside and shit. I know the difference. I see what's going on. It's all bread and circus. And we're focused on, especially us right here, right now, in my point of view, right? Say, okay, I'm looking for a job. I can do this. I can do that. Here's my resume. Here's some references. Okay, what can you do on this panel here can help me out to find? We need to network within ourselves and stop looking. We got to watch our backs for the government, but not be influenced by the freaking government. Or at least to the point where we're stuck, because I'm an action-oriented type person. Like I said, I had to deal with some crap this afternoon, and I told my girl, I said, look, because she snapped on him, and I was waiting for him to snap back because it was indignant because he was wasting our time, right, over money, and I was ready. I said, you know what, I can make it look like an accident. Even though we got cameras in this building, he'll look like an accident, but I'm an action type dude, and he's wrong. So I'm thinking more of a humanistic approach as it relates to who and what we have done throughout history, not in the past little blurb of, we got the internet now. Because what are we really doing with the internet?
Let me stop real quick.
Absolutely nothing, just crying and complaining.
It sounds like y'all.
Let me jump in real quick. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Bazzy B with the $5 Rumble chat. He says, we all Germany now. Against the clown world, fake and gay hordes, facts, Ausländer raus. bin ein Berliner.
When did you get this clip?
This shit does kind of bop though.
Hey, it's got me rocking my head.
This is a little club vibe. I feel it.
It's like some house music.
Yeah, the house mixed with a mosh pit. I know about that life.
Do
like that.
Hey, one thing too, you do have to respect your enemies as far as like their tactics and stuff like that. So like the fact that they could get us fucking like at least like this divided and shit to me it's just kind of like it's something at all at, because to me it's just like, how do you not see that they're constantly
that's why
bread and circus. I keep saying it. It's
that's
like
why we are being called the woke right over here. There's this guy on Twitter called James Lindsay, and he's been at this for a while trying to counter signal the right wing, especially the further right wing, because a lot of people saw this thing coming, these dark alliances, whatever, and they're calling us the woke right. And it's a little bit ironic. It's ironic in that a lot of people
it's fake
are
and gay
normies in the sense that
I'll tell you this. It's fake. Go ahead. My bad.
A lot of people are normies in the sense that they haven't actually been aware that there has been a giant scam being run against, the native populations, the host populations of mostly the Western countries. And so people are now awakening. Like there is a weird woke right. It's just an ironic thing that's happening. But yeah, most people had no idea what's going on. Everybody's asleep. It's like Rome, man. Bread and circus, bro.
It's fake and gay because like it's gaslighting and shit, and that's why I say it's fake and gay, because it's gaslighting. Because that would only work on somebody that doesn't know their history, right? Or it hasn't actually because I had to look into like who the fuck was Robert E. Lee, you know what I mean? Like who, like every single time, like when Charleston, when was it the fucking when Jews would not replace us? Like I had to look all that shit up and be like, why the fuck were they protecting that statue? Like I didn't know anything about the fucking guy, so I had to look into it and shit. So like I was like, oh wait a minute, like this is some fucking bullshit. Like I'm being fucking lied to. And like there is one thing
on the highest level. That's what's going on.
Yeah, and there's one thing that I know about Americans though, like specifically, like it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, or whatever the fuck, like or Romanian or fucking like or Slavic or whatever the fuck. Like if you lie to us, because people come from all over the world right here, and that's I guess our only benefit. It's not like diversity is our strength. I guess it would be like we being homogenous in our diversity is our fucking strength. Because a lot of people have been lied to by these communists and all these different places. So we've been attacked by different angles. So I have a conversation with Romanians and shit. It'll be like, yeah, you guys abandoned us. During the Soviets and shit. Or like South Koreans and shit be like, yeah, my mother was a whore and shit, or shit like that. Where like it was some very fucking like atrocious shit that happened to them. And you got to kind of listen to their stories and be like, well, how long is that until it happens to us? And then you start to see the writing on the wall and shit. And you'll be like, well, what the fuck am I going to like? Well, how the fuck could I like outthink, their strategy? And
it really does sound like that. Hold on, West. It sounds like that line from it's really about World War II, but there's an ironic logic to it. As a black man, it's like first they came for the white man, and I said nothing, and now the white man's gone, and there's nobody to stand with me. Like that's literally what's about to happen.
And dude, that's what some of us white folks are trying to warn people about, and have been for a minute. I understand. Look, most of us understand that there's a history in America of white people that did some horrible shit, but not all white people did that shit. And it's time for people to realize that.
Yes, we know we have the Jim Browns out here, Angry Snowman, but for every not Jim Brown, but John Brown, for every John Brown, there was always a Bull O'Connor, bro.
That's not my fault though, nor my problem. All I can do is all I can be accountable for is myself.
And I highly disagree with that, especially somebody who hangs out in the woods like all the time, right? So I grew up. Look, man, I'm Gen X, man. So I was.
You grew up in the woods just like I did, man.
You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with no.
Was y'all listening to Judas Priest albums out there with shotguns?
Yeah, absolutely, and
absolutely, bro.
With shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some Kodiak too, man. Had some chew at like 8 years old. What the heck?
Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen. Oh God, yeah, Copenhagen. I did Kodiak, but anyway,
Damn, tell me y'all some white boys that be in the damn woods.
Then I go up to GI, Gary, Indiana, where my people are. Now I gotta knuckle up every God blessed day, and which is cool because I was doing my martial art thing, still do, and so I've got plenty of practice with that. But I ain't never really had problems out in the woods though, down south.
Hey, right, you hitting with the Hadouken?
Yeah, exactly. The dragon fist. That's what you means.
No, the woods will make a man, either make or break a man, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, well, you know, anyways, I don't want to go too far because it's kind of my first time on here. And as I was talking with Hood, I got some because I signed up for this. I've got some Japanese New Year's cleaning that I, said I had to do. Like we're talking deep cleaning, and I it's just that. Hood, man, you be making these panels at the most inopportune times for me. That's why I don't jump on more. But I mean, I want to leave with some possible, some possibilities for just the average Joe to weather this bullshit. Right? All it is taking everything back to the bare minimums. Right? Food, shelter, water, clothing.
It's a matter of what you're willing to live without.
Exactly. And then, but yeah, you keep your eye on what's going on. Like as a technical type person, I got to know what the newest, and I hate this AI Skynet bullshit, but I have to keep myself relevant. So I do have to kind of tip my toe in it a little bit, but I do know, at the end of the day, if I need to make leather shoes, I know how to do that. I don't need nobody else to do me, and I can teach somebody else how to do that. So, yeah, Patriot Nurse is another person. Sorry to drop that name on your stream, Hood, but she's just talking about what's going to happen about 2025, and she's fairly accurate as a quote unquote white Jewish lady who carries a gun and who's a nurse. So, anyways,
hey, everybody on here, she had a first aid kit, man, with a tourniquet, something to do with splint, stuff like that.
Patriot Nurse is on some shit. Like I've seen her for years now. So,
yeah, she's on it, and I enjoy what she had, her perspective. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, not only with what in your kit, as far as first aid, you should be able. I taught my daughter how to suture. Like you can buy these little suture kits and learn how to give stitches, because most likely if you're going to get cut,
they sell them on Amazon. I've seen all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And it's not too hard. It's just if you have two people in your household that can suture, then most likely you're going to get cut or get an injury on a place where you can't reach anyways. Not going to be as easy as Rambo. So I made sure she knows how to do it at 16, 15, and then I know how to do it. So just stuff like that. But I mean, compared to dealing with these invited H-1B visa type cats, man, look, I'd rather just build our own conglomerate and F them. They can stay over there. And then and again, they will be at the door, but that's when you got that thing.
That's really where a lot of people feel betrayed by like an Elon Musk. Because what people need, they talk about something like Christian nationalism as a negative thing, but it would be the only real block against a lot of this globalism and this weird social culture that they keep pushing on everybody, the global homo culture and all that. And you would need your sort of Christian nationalist Elon Musk or Tony Stark. We thought we had a Tony Stark, but it turns out Tony was Hydra the whole time. Who fucking knew?
Yeah,
hell, Hydra.
Hey, look.
A lot of us suspected though. No bullshit. A lot of us suspected.
Ain't nobody
hell, Hydra.
Fan like that.
Can nobody be surprised?
Elitist, just because. Hold on,
can nobody be surprised?
The elitists had a little fight. Don't think he's going to turn tail and really backstab all of the elites. They'll never let him go like that.
Right?
So
can nobody be?
He has to bend the knee at some point.
No. It's not even that. He showed us all because he had that fucking Lucifer fucking Baphomet fucking armor when he went in there. So
costume.
It's just
I remember.
Yeah.
So costume. Yeah, the Halloween costume.
And as far as like all that, like when it comes to like, I guess every fucking ex-military person that I've listened to and shit, and like prepper, they always say the same thing: your guns ain't gonna fucking help you. They're just gonna fucking let everybody know exactly where to go.
Bullshit. Bows and arrows work too.
Yeah, I know, but also too, it's just like you have to build communities and shit, because without a community, you ain't shit.
Yeah, no man is an island.
But the right type of community, right?
You just spend your whole life just building a fucking a stash house for somebody to come fucking raid as soon as they got the fucking numbers on you.
And so
It's been infiltration on all fronts in America for decades upon decades. Look, Senator McCarthy fed this damn day. You know what I'm saying? We have all these infiltrators disguised as so-called righteous immigrants that basically made some xenophobic pact amongst each other, keep all Americans out, not even the white man. And I'm sorry, Snowman, and everybody in the chat that might be.
I'm not white. I don't know what you're talking about, Willis.
Well, Caucasian, my Caucasian friend, whatever. You're clear.
I'm a shade of wheat, just like you, sir.
No, you're clear. That's your new definition.
No, I am not see-through,
bro.
White man,
if you got blue, if I can see blue veins, if I can see blue veins,
dude, you realize in the summertime when I go out in the sun, dude, I tan like I'm black.
Okay, so just like I'm swarthy, you're what? Okay, I could dig that. I could dig that. Okay.
Well, let me tell you, and another thing, real quick.
White in wintertime.
I'm just.
You were white for Christmas, Snowman.
Everybody backtrack on all because I remember.
No, let me just say this real quick.
Me like Kenny over this, and now y'all acting like y'all wasn't.
Let me say this real quick because there is well, from what I was saying, there's like very clear examples of that, and it's not too fucking long ago and shit. When the BLM riots happened and shit, and I think it was in Michigan or Wisconsin. You know, they went into some dude's house and shit, right? Yeah, they upped the shotgun because they were breaking their windows, and who did they go to lock up? They locked up the dude with the shotgun. So if you don't have the community behind you, if you don't have like that structure, like your guns ain't shit. Like they would literally humble you in front of everybody, and the cops are not there to save you.
Now let me tell you something, okay? Seriously though, seriously, all right. I have, and it sounds corny, but trust me, I got pictures, right? I got the proof. Look, this thing called a scout, and I'm not talking about a Boy Scout. I'm talking about somebody who has quote unquote high speed survival skills. You understand? And when I said before about make it look like an accident, that's somebody who is untrained, untrained. All right. So the people need to get their noses out of the book and see and embrace reality. I understand what you say. Having a community helps sometimes, and most times, especially right now, it hinders. Why? Because everybody's got a freaking phone. Everybody knows they can dox you and things like that. So it's best to move silently and in the dark and in the shadows.
Yeah, a lot of times being a lone wolf will be your biggest savior.
Correct. In America for about 20, 30 years, dog. Stop acting like it just happened. This shit is new. Oh, now it's a bug out. You new to this shit.
Who's new to?
You talking about bugging out? Shit.
There's also
America for the past 40, 50
wait,
years.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
That's also bugging in. If you got skills, you got the skills. If you don't, you don't. Hey, I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. I'm 53, bro.
Yeah, you should be able to bug in or bug out. Honestly,
right.
you should have
and it's not all sticks and stones, bro.
You don't be listening because motherfuckers be talking about rebuilding shit.
And this is where that's when you have to use soft power. Like it ain't. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, but ain't nobody talking about rebuilding, man. You got to be prepared for whatever. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? What we have in society right now, man, is a thin veil. And I'm not under any illusion this can't fail at any moment.
Or any rabble rouser that might turn the crowd against you. Like, you have to be prepared for that type of linguistic, verbal, I guess, like combat and shit. It's not just all fucking physical. You can't just strong arm your way into any situation. Like, there's a time and place for all that shit. Sometimes you gotta be diplomatic.
There are no vegans in the wild.
Hold on. Before we get too deep into like Civil War planning, I want to actually kind of switch gears a little because there's another sort of theme that's playing out here, and also there's like 100 and something people in the chat right now. There's over 120 people in the chat, and there's like 25 likes, 28 likes. Really, come on, y'all gotta like the video. It's just like YouTube, man. Like the video, hit that thumbs up for me. It's right there in the middle of the screen, just like the video. But that being said, this MAGA versus Tech Bros things is actually another one of those like Revenge of the Nerds kind of dramas playing out in real life now. Like the nerds don't really understand what they did wrong. I want to play this clip for you.
This is not different. It's populist nationalists versus elite globalists. And when you say we're going to work this out, Oh, you guys, I'm gonna get Loomer's on here. She's banned. They're trying to ban Gavin Wax. You're going to be banned eventually by the free speech absolutist. The nerds don't take criticism. They're kind of, they're a little bit all on the spectrum, right? So they don't know, they're not deep in social skills. And I say, you can't run a country by algorithm. You can't run a country by the nerds that create their companies all employ a handful of people, right? And they're all they're all mathematicians, all about algorithms. You can't run a country like that. We're a country, not an economy. This is not different.
And that's what I think has sort of been lost from the heart of this show. I mean, from the heart of this issue, is that and shout out to Chaotic Truth. I didn't even know you were listening, bro. Appreciate your patronage, bro. But that's what's been lost at the heart of this debate, especially from the it's weird to almost call it the left, because they're not quite the left. There's the tech bros, but they're actually left-leaning. The tech industry is a really left-leaning thing for its own reasons. It's not all social issues. But the tech bros don't really seem to get that countries aren't just teams where you can swap players and put them in new jerseys and it's still the same team. Like, a nation is its people. And if you just replace the people of the nation, you actually change the nation fundamentally. And not only that, you put the actual people of the nation in a very, very precarious defensive position. And you stoke you call the dogs of war when you do shit like this. And the only real defense that people have, even on with the tech bros, and this is why I almost want to call them the left, because the only real arguments that you hear from the left is you guys are just racist because you don't want to be replaced by brown people.
It's hubris. It's hubris, bro.
Also, that don't work. That whole shit, that piece of shaming, that lost it. The emperor has no clothes. Like you know what I'm saying? You like yelling for fire and all that stuff.
Gaslighting. You talk about gaslighting.
Yeah, I mean it's all kinds of stuff going on there, man. Because they've gone to the same playbook, and guess what? It gets less effective every time. But one thing I can say, Hood. Go ahead.
I just want to point out you are really good at giving your own interpretation of RFK, dude. You sound just like him right now.
Yo, man, chill out.
I'm just saying, dude, you sound just like him.
I just want to show proper guys. I'm heading out. I got work to do. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna be listening on the side. I hope y'all keep the conversation really cogent, because I do enjoy listening. But when it gets uncogent, then it's like, I got other things to do. But anyways, thank you so much for
I try to run a tight ship. It gets crazy though. It gets crazy.
I know.
I try to keep it tight sometimes.
I know. I know. Anyways, thank you for having me up, y'all.
Hey, take it easy, brother.
Yeah, man.
Later.
We're not going to be running too much longer. We got like 30 minutes, 40 minutes to go. We're out of here.
Yeah, but I think it was a cool switch over from YouTube to Rumble here. Yeah, I have an avatar on Rumble as well, but it's not this one. Anyhow, you guys.
Yeah, I got to start doing more of these.
And Happy New Year's to you all, and have a good evening.
Hey, same to you, brother.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you, Angry.
Later.
Merry Christmas, bro. Appreciate you hanging around, man. Thank
you.
No.
Thank you. It's always very. I like this crew because it's always very thought provoking. Like I said, y'all catch me when I can't plug in, and it's like be angry because I want to get my 2 cents in. Anyways, thank y'all. Have a good evening. I'll be listening. Okay.
But yeah, like I was saying before, though, it's really another battle in the it's another front in the Revenge of the Nerds battle too. It's like there's a lot of guys in the tech industry, and even to call it Revenge of the Nerds seems a little bit odd, because once you start to look at who's actually like the CEOs of a lot of the tech industry, they're not really like American bros. They're almost all like foreign in one way or another.
But they're high in intellect, right? And this is the reason why I think Trump is probably like the best person or the best avatar for the situation, right? So there's a saying when it comes to people with high IQ, right? They can't actually run a business because they'll spreadsheet it to death. They're not able to make those fucking harsh decisions. So there's a sweet spot in IQ where like the balls and brain have to kind of meet somewhere in between and shit. Like I think there was a stream not too long ago where it's just sort of like, yeah, there's the reason why, there's a lot of people from Appalachia that become American presidents and shit, because they know when to pull the trigger and when to cut off the hand and fucking to save the body and shit. Like there is some kind of boldness that like engineers can't fucking do. And if they did fucking have the answers, then the AI would already told them the outcome and shit, because they would have already figured this out, but they haven't, because we're not China, we're not India. You know what I mean? We're something different.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure, and I think I actually do have a lot more faith in the American people than like a lot of people give us credit for. And I think like a lot of it has to be with demoralization and shit. But in reality, though, the bell curve works both ways. You know what I mean?
We're becoming India. Parts of this country are China and India, honestly. Just
but there is
parts of this country or the Middle East too, man.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people that actually do believe.
It's crazy when you start to notice it. We got a Somalia, we got a little Delhi, we have all kinds of Chinatowns.
I mean,
like,
hell,
we
what
are
is it?
Kind of slowly becoming this. I don't know.
Hey, look, and we'll drag them across the finish line too, if it comes down to it.
Man, y'all finna get alien disclosure next, man. Y'all got everything in
me. Either they drag you down to the bottom, or you drag them to success.
Yeah, but it's true though. They're in Minnesota, no-go zones, man.
Look,
I'm saying like they changed the Minnesota state flag to mimic.
I remember
that was allowed to happen
ago,
because
I told y'all I'm just here for when the rug get pulled out, where y'all gonna go and anything like that. I didn't expect it to happen like this, but I'm just hearing it. And I'm slowly seeing, the enlightenment, and it's cool. It's not the way I thought it was gonna happen, but
hey, look, man, what are you talking about, man? Like we've been pointing out certain things that have been happening.
No, this stream is
so you mean to tell me that me, other people up here don't have any pattern recognition?
South Park me so many
times. Hold on, Dave. Were we supposed to like? Dave, were we supposed to like join hands with all the H-1B guys and celebrate
we are the
demise
world.
Of the white man?
No,
we are the children.
Is that what we were supposed to do? Were we supposed to cheerlead the death of the white man at the hands of the tech jeets?
No,
and then wash them out, breed you.
I specifically remember getting supposedly aired out by the Fallback Boys for saying that exactly what y'all saying now, that these people, they didn't got all their education, now they telling everybody else that they don't need it and we can't find all of this. And I was saying that it's so many engineers.
No, you're conflating things. Like there's many different arguments on the college front.
Conflating just to say it.
No, you're conflating things, because I know I've had arguments with you about the college thing.
We came around, but this ain't what y'all was saying before.
Yeah, but Dave, how many English degrees do we really need people to have in this country, man? That's what that is one of my big things, man. It's not proportional whatsoever.
But you saying that,
and these people are gonna rack up all this debt for what?
The difference is, I listen to the young people when they be saying
he bought it. Well, those young people also bought into the demoralization campaign, right? Where they ain't shit, right?
They bought into the STEM degree, and they saying that they can't get these jobs, and now we got this H-1B coming.
Well, that's a small amount of people that are saying it anyway.
Like that, and now y'all tripping. This is exactly what I said. I said they telling Americans you don't need no degree.
Dave, motherfuckers like me have been telling young kids that they need to get into some kind of trade for the last 20, 30 years. We've been telling people that we're losing welders, pipe fitters, electricians, roofers, fucking people to maintain the subways and our fucking sewer lines and shit like that. We've been telling people that we're losing.
A welder can make way more than an IT worker.
And look, not to mention that there needs to be a certain level. There also needs to be a certain level of engineers that start out like on the trade route and get practical experience, because some of the engineers, they have no practical experience. I work with some of these dudes.
Well,
and
the problem is
they put stuff together without knowing how the end product is supposed to be, like, actually function.
We have a bunch of people that want to work behind computer screens, typing on keyboards, and nobody wants to get their hands dirty anymore.
And not only that, but the current economical trend would be that eventually we're gonna have to start outproducing China either way. So manufacturing is gonna be part of the table. Not everybody could work underneath a goddamn fucking computer while doing that shit, because there is an industry of machining and shit and manufacturing, especially in the Midwest, where we have to build that shit back up. Look, coming from Chicago, look, how many fucking steel mills? How many steel mills did they shut down?
Hold on. Let's not hold on. I don't want to turn into an argument. I'm gonna let Turin in. He actually just
it's retarded.
Hey, can I shout out Anu with that super chat he just sent me too? By the way, you got that?
Oh, shout out to Anu with he sent you a super chat as well.
Yeah, he sure did. Sent me a $10 super chat. Said, "What's up, ye pig squealing infidel? I appreciate you, good sir."
Likewise. Shout out to Anunnaki with the $10 Rumble the Rumble chat. What's up, ye pig squealing infidel? Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Snowman's. Okay. I want to actually kick it to Turin really quick. I don't want this to turn into like a rumbling argument. Pun intended.
I don't think we're trying to have that.
What's
either.
going on?
Saying I told you so. I'm done.
Hi, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I hear you, Dave. Okay. I hear you. Yes, Turin. What's good, man?
Yeah. When it comes to like those high-paying technical jobs, like that you would need to get like a STEM field degree for, we've already created the tools to make all those jobs vanish. Okay, AI is going to erase that entire side of every industry. They're not going to need to pay somebody that actually got educated and knows how to design buildings and knows how to do math and stuff, like, you know, things that you would have to actually be smart to do. They're basically just going to pay somebody to like come up with a basic concept and then have a computer figure it out. And that's how it's going to be. So going to college to get like a STEM field degree, it's not going to pay out the way it used to in the past. On the other hand, there's always going to be a limited sort of utility to AI when it comes to robotics. So you can automate a lot of processes, but it's never going to have the dexterity and situational awareness that like a human being is going to have. So for example, like jobs like what Angry Snowman was talking about, like being a plumber, being a welder, being a maintainer, right? Maintaining civilization. Those jobs are going to become a lot more valuable because there's, like I said, there's limited utility to trying to automate all that. You could make a bunch of robots.
You know what's the burn on that, Turin? Here's the burn. When you bring in all these H-1B candidates to fill these jobs that'll disappear in a few years, they'll still be here.
Well, you know, I said earlier in the chat that like we, the American people, are the Indians now.
Thanks for speaking to reality on that, Hood.
Yeah, there's been it's not just replacement. It's extermination. They don't want our genes to exist. They try to kill us with poisonous vaccines and viruses and bad food pyramids. And they've done everything they can short of like just rounding everybody up to exterminate the Western population. Right. And it's for the reasons you guys have stated. They're not going to need STEM field jobs. They don't need people with high IQs. They need hands. Now, how do we respond to this?
Right.
I think that Owen Benjamin, being a comedian and not being like a real activist or anything, nevertheless has pointed out the way. It's small community. You don't have to use the system, right? You can cooperate with your neighbors for resources. You don't like look at how Disney and the gaming companies like Hollywood in general, they've been affected very badly by people just not buying their products, right? Imagine if you extend that further. Like, you don't need to watch movies and stuff. What if you didn't need to go to the grocery store?
Hey, real quick. It's decentralized small communities and shit, because you could touch Disney, but you can't touch a decentralized, homogenous small community. Go ahead.
Exactly. You become immune to a lot of the sort of tactics.
Well, look, that's why they went after the Amish the way they did.
Yep, but they didn't fold.
Exactly. Like,
See, all
they
that
didn't
sounds
fold. It
good.
just takes a little bit of a backbone.
That all
Right?
sounds good, but
Dave is disciplined.
you're not
Dave,
adding the
Dave.
fact that you're in the middle of a Fenty meth war, taking out 100,000.
Dave is disciplined.
Hey, dude,
Discipline.
what are you
Listen,
afraid of?
What does a meth war have to do with Amish people that don't normally take drugs?
have
Dude,
a
the
little bit
worst
of
they can do
discipline
is
and
kill
listen,
you.
Dave.
Come on, man.
The worst they can do is kill you. And that's not that bad. Just fucking stick it out. Like, seriously, when I put up the picture of the little bighorn, like, that was a small triumph in like an overall losing sort of war. And the reason why I put that up was to demonstrate how these half-naked tribesmen beat the shit out of the industrial military of the US government over and 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 over again. And finally what did them in is they gave up. And the US government had to give them their own territories to govern. You know, the reservations. Like, they wouldn't have done that at all if they weren't such a fucking tough nut to crack.
Didn't Oklahoma succeed a lot of fucking Indian territory to against the to the Indians in Oklahoma there too? Also,
Yeah, look, the whole
and then
Indian
also
reservation
Afghanistan
system,
too. Like, you know, the
the whole
tribal
reservation
warlords.
system came because they were willing to fight.
Yeah. In Oklahoma, and you know, in Afghanistan too, like, you know, my hat goes off to them, the empire breakers and shit. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from that shit too. Like,
Yeah,
if
all
you
you gotta
have,
do is just have a stiff upper lip. You don't give up.
The only
even when
thing
you're
any
losing.
government understands is the threat of war. That's all they
Yeah,
understand.
violence is the only language they speak. They can't understand higher consciousness thinking. It's a system. It's not designed to deal with real life things. So, like, the whole machine was predicated on using violence, and their whole concept was, we'll hurt these Indians into obeying. Well, I mean, that kind of worked, but they weren't going to give them their own territory. They wanted to take all their land and kill them off. Today, there are more Indians alive than ever, and the only thing that really keeps them down is their own demoralization. They
and
choose to take a
alcoholism.
bunch of drugs. They choose to, like, not adapt and change their tribal elder system to where they can be better organized. Like, most of what's holding them back today is themselves.
No, see, that's what we got to get rid of. See, I'm trying to enlighten you, bruh. You act like the CIA and these alphabet boys don't run programs to put people down, dog. Y'all in the middle of one with the
No. Allow me to correct you, sir.
look.
I am fully aware of their
What
sneaky
Trump is
activities.
No. You're
choose
approaching it the
to
wrong way. Hold on.
obey.
Let me step in real quick. Dave, why didn't it work on you?
We're talking about a populace, right?
Yeah, but why didn't it work on
You
you?
have control over
No, you act like you're
only have
exceptional
control over
to
what
it.
you do.
What do you mean? Why didn't it work on me? I saw an African American Civil War. I saw it. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying, but why didn't it work on you though? If the program is so perfect,
literally God, because a lot of bullets whizzed past. I'm supposed to be gone. So what the fuck are you asking me? Stupid.
no, I'm just saying, like, you got to understand, like, I've
singular shit, bro.
everybody goes through the growing pains, but not every.
What I'm
Once
saying
you
is that
once you go over,
notice there is a pattern of, well, the only thing holding back is this, the only thing holding back is that, and I'm literally saying, yo, the same play is being run on white people right now. And
dude, that attitude of, oh, there's people that don't want me to succeed, therefore I can't, is the reason why you fail.
Exactly.
Look, like, dude, of course, the enemy, quote unquote, is going to take certain actions to try to influence the way that you behave. You choose to obey. Like, all of the programming, all of the nudging, all of the manipulation, it all comes down to you obeying.
You're playing
And
within
you're
their
complaining that
paradigms
other
and within
people
their
obey.
rules.
Guess what? You don't have control over what other people do. You only have control over what you do.
And that's it. And
So
it's
that's
always
why
been
the
that
small
way.
community idea is the way forward, because you're not going to be able to like control mass consciousness. You don't have that kind of influence.
That's what I was trying to get through to him earlier. I mean, I'm only accountable and only to myself. I'm the only person. I can only control what I do. I don't understand where people got this mindset to where people can control people as a collective, and that you're responsible for what other
Or as
people
a
do.
race, or as
Right,
a
and you're responsible for what other people do
I
that look like you. That's insane, Dave.
I dare say that that's a complete lie, because every time,
No, like you're basically just complaining about the problem, but
no,
you
look,
have no
I got
way
a
of
perfect,
imagining a
I got the
solution.
perfect analogy to Dave. Dave is very confused for what his eyes see and his heart feels. That's what it is. He understands what we're saying, but he has a very hard time seeing it both ways.
The solution to the problems that you're pointing out, Dave, is not pretty.
It ain't my problem. I ain't got
No, it's not, because it would be savage.
I ain't got no problem with another, because I've been through this shit. This shit been happened. And now
Nah, you ain't been through this shit in your own backyard, though, Dave.
people, now everybody's waking up, sky's falling. And I'm telling you, yo, here's the play, because it was ran already. While y'all motherfuckers were saying, oh, it ain't this.
Dave, unfortunately, like we already know everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
Like recognizing the problem and coming up with a solution are very different things. You're basically saying, I've been pointing out the problem. The problem is very multifaceted, very complex. The solution, however, is extremely difficult, but very simple. Localized communities, trust, friendship. Like, you can't trust everybody, but you can trust some people. We have to get together with the people that we trust and work together for.
I want to interject for a second here. Excuse me for a minute, guys. I just want to, because I'm listening. I think I'm trying. I want to understand Dave's position, even though I disagree. I'm trying to understand it as much as I can, because he's trying to say something here. And the thing is,
he has
Dave
a hard
is
time communicating, though.
Good. Thank you.
Hold on, let me speak a little bit, Dave. Just let me try to get this off. I think where Dave is trying to come from, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna give you a chance to correct me if I'm wrong, but let me just say this. Where Dave is coming from, what he said earlier is that the same plays that we're arguing right now are the plays that have been ran against Black America. And now, after ignoring Black America, it's a little bit of a wicked irony that it's happening to white America. Am I correct in that little synopsis, Dave?
Keep going, bro. You right on track.
Well, that's kind of where I want to jump off, because this is where I think you're a little bit kind of seeing through the Black lens a bit too much. Yes, some of the similar things, there may be some similarities to it, but I think what you're missing is the grander play, in that first Black America was used as the wedge against white America, and now Black America is sort of being abandoned for whatever use it had, and now we're being effectively weaponized against the same way white America was weaponized against. I think that's what you're missing as well.
How I keep saying this ain't got nothing to do, like
you're thinking microcosm.
Yeah, Dave, and you're
you're
not
thinking
even starting
microcosm. We're thinking macro.
either, Dave. You're not starting the timeline in the right place. All the stuff you're talking about. First, it happened to poor Americans in the South, and then that mechanism was turned to defeating the Indians, like every mechanism that you're talking about. Then it was turned against, like the Irish and the Polish immigrants in the 1920s and 30s and the Blacks, but you only want to see the Blacks because you're only looking at it through that one specific lens. It is a series of tactics and strategies meant to attack the dominant culture and bend it into essentially feudalism. Like the American Revolution was all about the exact opposite of the systems that had been in existence since the beginning of civilization. And every other system, socialism included, is all about the elites trying to get back to feudalism, trying to get back to the old order. And so all of these methods and strategies that you would say like applies to the Blacks and now it's trying to apply to the whites, that's been the mechanism used against the American dream, the American revolution ever since it started. And, you know, as it was said before, like the cost of liberty is eternal vigilance. Because we wanted to be a free and independent people, we have to fight for it all the time. And unfortunately, a couple of the generations before us forgot about that. They didn't put in the work that needed to be done and let the situation get a little bit extra bad. But I'd like to point out the fact that nothing that we've experienced in the last like decade has even come close to how bad things have been in the past. Like, we never went through a Great Depression. We never went through a civil war where the U.S. Army was wiping out entire towns. What we got was a lot of threats and coercion, and we got a little bit uncomfortable. So things aren't nearly as dire as a lot of people try to make it out to be. And the fact that people are even talking about the problems at all, I mean, that's an encouraging sign.
But what's going on right now is shit. It's a game for the hearts and minds of people. It's not Dave. Dave. Let me talk to you real quick. It's for the hearts and minds of the people. It's not for a specific race. I'm with you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you either, or to anybody in this panel. Like, I want this for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be putting my neck out here talking to you guys if I wouldn't really fucking give a fuck about you guys. So it's for everybody. It's not just for me. It's not just for my people or what the fuck it's
not,
you know,
you guys
somebody
are my people.
You know,
it's just that simple. You guys are my people.
The question is why won't you just get over it?
Get over wait. Get over what?
What's going on? Get over.
How do you get over something that could affect you?
I don't know, but that's
how do you get over people wanting to annihilate you, Dave? People want you to no longer list. People want your gene pool to dry up. How do you get over this, Dave?
How do you tell people to get over it, Dave? And then in the same breath, get mad when people tell you to get over the stuff that you complain about.
I'm just saying the same.
Dave, you want reparations, don't you?
Yeah, but y'all keep
get over it. Get over it.
Right.
No,
get over it, bro.
Wait. Somebody might disagree with you.
Slow down. Everybody, slow down. Dave, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear, one, the frivolity of your position and your own hypocrisy. You can't get over an argument that boils down to money, and you want other people to get over an argument that means their own annihilation.
I just don't get the ostrich in the sand argument, man. I just don't. And it's like, people may disagree with you, but like on this panel at least, they're not telling you to get over it.
You know,
they just disagree with your position.
Yeah, and one thing I have noticed too is just like they rather just watch it all burn down and shit, just to feel his warmth and shit. You know, there's that whole saying too. It's just like, well,
I kind of feel that way too, but that's only because we ain't gonna do it right. But if y'all gonna fuck up good.
Said, I'm renegade, and now you saying a motherfucker care about and all up in your village with a match. I done said, leave me the fuck alone. This ain't. I've been said it's a lot of people that saying this ain't the fight.
Yeah, but
if you want to be left the fuck alone, why are you up here?
How are you gonna be let alone and put a sea of people around you that aren't your people?
What?
You have no choice but not to be involved. If they put 1,000 people around you and you're on an island, I mean, you know, like, I mean, if you don't have your people and they got 1,000 other people that are obviously not identifying with you around you, that's not a good spot to be in.
It's 1 million plus people in Chicagoland, dog. The fuck are you talking about? 1,000 people, nigga?
For now, Dave. That's for now.
On the corner.
That's for now.
Nations on the corner. Oh, you talking about what if they put 1,000 people? God damn it! What part of African American Civil War? Seeing that shit happen, they want to call it a drug war. But when you had your kids smashing each other's heads out in the street,
you're not staying on topic though.
I am. Y'all. What I'm saying is it's a duality in when I bring up shit, but now y'all got grievances. I can't say the same thing. Get over it.
but I specifically never told you to get over anything. I may address the position that you have and disagree with your position, but I'm not telling you to get over, because guess what? You can identify a problem just as much as me, but I may just not agree with your solution.
But I don't mean it. It ain't meant for you.
Hey, look, Dave, you remind me of a friend that when he asked me about Black Lives Matter, I asked him, when the fuck did I tell you about the wall? Like, when the fuck did I tell you if you support the wall? Like, why the fuck you bring this up to me right now? It's like, now I feel offended because now you're forcing me to make a fucking decision that I'm like, well, I wanted to keep shit kosher. I wanted to be friends and shit, but you over here bringing up this other shit. Because if I told you exactly how I feel, we wouldn't be friends.
Sound like you a fake friend of your friend. You need to be real with your buddy, man.
No, I already told him. Like, I don't fuck with him because of that. Because he's.
But it sounds like you being fake to your buddy, man. Be real.
No, but to be real with shit, I told him too. It's just like, I don't bring that shit up because fucking neighbors and shit like that. So why the fuck would I bring that up? Like, why you bringing it up to me? It's like I'm trying to like when you have to make compromises when you're dealing with people too and shit, right? But you have to be true to yourself. But if they bring it up, then fuck it, you got to bring it out there.
All right, I feel you, I guess.
But also, you got to understand that some people are they ain't ready to take that step, and you gotta work them in there. But if they bring it out, then you just can't be lying to them either and shit.
You still have a problem with this whole conversation though, Dave, because we've dealt with this like 3 years ago where a forced jab was induced to society, and we saw parents turn on their children, stuff like that. Yep. And this was state powers. So this ain't like, oh, you just left alone. There's plenty of examples of this too.
I want to
across the spectrum.
Real quick.
But
we're gonna get up out of here soon. But I want to play one last example of the problem.
Forward by a percentage that leads to a plus on your bonus. By the way, if you lose part of your bonus. I'm not trying to finesse this. So for blacks, we should try to get towards 13-point-something%. On Hispanics, you got to get into the mid-teens. So let me say it. Asians in the US are not an underrepresented minority in a tech company.
James O'Keefe here outside of IBM's corporate headquarters in Armonk, New York. An IBM insider has provided us with an internal video showing the CEO of IBM, Arvind Krishna, using coercion to fire people and take away their bonuses unless they discriminate in the hiring process.
Let me go deeper into Red Hat. Multiple leaders over the last year plus that were held accountable to the point that they're no longer here at Red Hat because they weren't willing to live up to the standards that we set in this space. This conversation takes place every single day, and a lot of it's behind the scenes.
They terminated executives that didn't discriminate, yet another violation of Title VII. One of the biggest companies in the world, one of the most valuable and recognizable brands on earth. IBM Insider has provided us with an internal video showing the CEO of IBM, Arvind Krishna, using coercion to fire people and take away their bonuses unless they discriminate in the hiring process, which appears to be a violation of Title VII.
Before we get further in this, I want to say a big shout out to Anunnaki the One for all his contributions to the show today. Thank you so much for that. Unlike the new Americans, real Americans, we share the money, we spread the money, we do business together.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat.
Shut up.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat. Yes.
Shout out to you, Anu. You're one of the only goat fuckers I actually like.
And Dave also too. I want to say, ain't no hate, ain't no
advertising from Elon Musk.
Ain't no hate in my comments too and shit. I don't want you to feel like I'm going directly at you. I'm just going after what the ideas you're trying to put out here, bro. Because some of it be just a little bit too much.
This is nothing compared to this.
Honestly, Dave, I think you have a very typical sort of pro-black kind of grievance. We're not going to talk you out of it. You feel how you feel, so it is what it is.
Right.
A Musk's X with IBM saying they have zero tolerance for discrimination. Quote, IBM has zero tolerance for discrimination, and we've immediately suspended all advertising on X while we investigate.
So let me add a couple of things with a Red Hat flavor on it. But I think Arvin laid that out pretty well, but let me go deeper in the Red Hat. And as Arvin very much pointed out, and I very much understand, I am accountable. I hold myself accountable. He holds me accountable, as does the board for all of IBM. But we also hold the leadership at Red Hat accountable for that. I mean, I'll be very candid. Without an exception for privacy, I could name multiple leaders over the last year plus that were held accountable to the point that they're no longer here at Red Hat because they weren't willing to live up to the standards that we set in this space. And so, as I said, I'm accountable to Arvin on this as well as to IBM. For example, one of the changes I made, I named a D&I lead person in Margaret reporting directly to me and the CLT. We have, Margaret sits on the CLT as the D&I functions, and this is worked on every single one of our meetings. This conversation takes place every single day, and a lot of it's behind the scenes, but let me assure you this is happening. We're never going to cross the DEI off our list of priorities. This is an ongoing thing.
That was Paul Kernier, CEO of Red Hat, which is a software company owned by IBM, saying that they terminated executives that didn't discriminate, yet another violation of Title VII.
So we take underrepresented and gender. You got to move both forward by a percentage. That leads to a plus on your bonus. By the way, if you lose part of your bonus. Paul's held to the same standards. Paul and I have been working together to say, okay, how do we apply those deeper into the organization?
That was the head of IBM saying he's going to reduce the bonus if you don't hit your racial quotas. Arvind Krishna is using racial considerations in making the work environments diverse and doing so coercively by placing burdens on employees to do so, like the removal of bonus or termination. That's also a violation of Title VII.
So not only do we have DEI quotas, but there are effectively bounties being placed on the white male employees. That's wild.
Man, it's the best time to be alive, man. I'm loving this shit. I'm loving it.
Hey, so like, what's the incentive, personal or otherwise, for them to go and do this and open them up to like all this legal scrutiny?
Well, they probably didn't expect the legal scrutiny like that, but you know, the money.
Also, too.
Well, it sows seeds of dissension among people real fast. For one.
Also, too, look at the dynamic in that little picture right there. Is the white chick, you know, and who's exposing them? The white dude that already knows he's gonna fucking he's already got the arrows thrown at him, probably been devanked and all this other shit. So that's what I'm saying, like.
I don't know if it was him though. I don't know. This is internal, so it could be somebody just on the webcast.
You know,
James O'Keefe, but James O'Keefe's out there putting his names out there.
Dude, these people are foreign invaders that are relying on the help of caserings or traitors in the host country. They're trying to take it over, and one of the ways that you do that, like first of all, like when we invaded Iraq. Did we keep like all the Ba'ath Party guys in charge of everything, or did we like arrest all those dudes and put our own guys in? Just imagine like every corporation and like everything that there's going on right here in IBM. It's just like a kind of like a little bit lower down the ladder for that. We're at war. That's the first thing that you have to accept. It's not just like kind of a disagreement about policy or whatever. It's war.
Well, I don't know what dimension. They say that there's
war. You at war. Don't put. Well, yeah, I guess there's a we, but don't put me in that we shit.
Dave,
dude, if you're American living in this motherfucker, you at war too.
Dave, I don't know at what type of dimension of war we're living in, but I don't know if it's fifth, fourth, or sixth generation warfare. Because
y'all on the war to save this shit, and I can't help you until you let go.
China has unrestricted warfare. That means economic, environmental. Everything's war for them.
It's not any of those generations of war. It's the very first generation of war, where one tribe like walks like a couple miles over the hill and attacks the other tribe and then rapes their women. And then suddenly what was left of that other tribe becomes their tribe.
Hey, look, what are they
It's
doing
really
to
just
the...
as simple as that. It's the oldest and like most basic concept to understand. Like when you have foreign people just kind of march into your country and start doing things their way, you're at war.
Hey, look, and after all these, like, you know, you heard about the Uyghur Muslims, right, in fucking China. Well, the Uyghurs are in Syria and they built up their own fucking defenses, right? Let's say, I don't know, we fucking did that shit too, but they're over there talking about it. Their goal is China. So, like, once I heard that, I'm just like, oh, well, that's a different angle. That's a different angle that, like, I don't know if the Charlie Indigo Alpha was out there or playing with that idea, but you know, there's
He just flying a 6th generation goddamn fighter today. Goddamn, you talking
wait. China's biggest issue is the same thing that we have, the internal one. So as big as you are, you have as many issues. Why do you think they have a surveillance state for people?
So does Russia. Like, I mean,
hell, low key, we do too. Why are you playing?
Yeah, like Russia could easily be broken up, and we could all fall into a civil war. It's just like who's gonna fall into it first. And like, I'm not gonna stand here and start to promote like our own downfall. What the fuck? Like that sounds fucking horrific and shit. If what I really want does come to fruition and shit, like if I was a leftist, right? Because they won't survive. They'll be the first to starve because they don't have any community.
Yeah, they're the caserings, man.
And why?
That's at the heart and soul of wokeism.
They're the useful idiots.
They're a bunch of caserings. Okay, does anybody know what that means?
No, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Okay, the casering, like, okay, when the Nazis invaded France, they set up like a new government in France. You know, the Vichy government of France.
They didn't have the vice lords in France. Ain't nobody fucking invading America, let alone Chicago.
Chill out, come on.
They don't have to invade America. They bought off your politicians and they're replacing the population.
Damn nation. Only thing holding Chicago back is Rico. Fuck.
You know what? I think that what I said is not really resonating because everybody here is thinking about war in terms of tanks.
No. We're all not. Go ahead and explain the case rings thing, though.
Okay, well, casering was like he was like a guy that got put in charge of France, like, and his whole family was involved of the Vichy government, and he supported like the Nazi occupation during World War II of France.
Is that the same guy that gave the list to Nazis to go and take the guns?
I'm sure that he did that. It's more like he was a Frenchman that instead of like de Gaulle trying to carry on the fight for France, he was like, we're joining the Nazis. Like, we're now the Vichy fascist French. And in case you guys didn't know, some of the early battles that America fought in World War II were actually against the French. And they fought fucking hard. They didn't just like, oh, it's the Americans. Now we don't have to fight for the Nazis. We fought these brutal fucking battles with the French.
Yeah, we would have had Canada if the French didn't fucking back them up.
Oh, you're talking about like the War of 1812?
Yeah.
Yeah, my ideas about that have changed over time. We should have annexed Canada.
We will.
We should have never allowed England to have fucking the UK there. Like look at how things have gone down since then.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we have half of South America pouring into America now. We might as well just take over the whole fucking southern continent and make that a part of the United States as well.
My whole thing is that we should move away from that and become.
Hold on, real quick. Shout out to
lock down the whole Americas.
If I could,
shout
out to Anunnaki, man, with another $10 super chat. It says, thanks. I do my part as much as I can to all American infidels. P.S. Never let Pajid in your tech world. They will curry poison it. This donation shall conclude the goal set. USA all the way. Salute to you, Anunnaki.
Hey, but this goes before, I guess, the American or even the French while the French Revolution was going on and shit, like there was Catholics and shit where these new age thinkers and shit were fucking stealing their fucking their land, and they were fucking like boiling them alive and shit in oil and eating them and shit, right? They were doing all sorts of satanic shit with them. When the French Revolution happened, all these fucking not sacrifices, but all these executions they used to do them as sacrifices and shit because they didn't believe in God. So they used to go after the Catholics and shit. It was an ungodly thing that happened and shit. Fucking, and there was a bunch of people that were just kind of like, well, they just fled. They went to Ireland and shit, and then they went to the United States. And then we build this ideology and shit that we have now. So it's like, to me, it's not a race thing. It's just a building of ideas, right? So we're all over here just
MAGA no more?
No, but we're all building on an idea, and this is just the latest iteration of the idea.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme, man, because Trump is the head. He's just the efficiency guy to make suggestions.
Yeah, it's just a spokesperson.
Everybody has disagreements
about MAGA.
But this is the next evolution of, I guess, Western philosophy, right? You just happen to be in the time where it's being formed. And this is in its infant stage, right? There is no boundaries to it yet, Dave. There is no boundaries to it.
With no boundaries, that's bound to be chaos, though.
No, I'm saying, but we're trying to
wait. Dave wants yes or no. Yes, he's still MAGA. He has a slight disagreement because of his personal business practices, but yes, he is still MAGA.
Like the things that characterize the American nation that is like radically different from all the other nations is our flexibility. We basically have broken the mold for how things have to be done or how things should be done over and over and over and over and over and over and over again ever since the beginning. Like everything from our Constitution to the way that we develop technologically to like cultural shifts. It is very chaotic. And we've seen like, a lot of really like degenerate and awful things come of that. But think about all the good things that came of it. Like we pioneered like cures for diseases.
Went to the fucking moon.
Outside the box. Like we at one time had like a really good educational system. It's currently very bad because it's following the fucking German model. But all of this stuff, like I said, the characteristic is flexibility.
Hey, hold on, real quick. The compulsory school system. That's another thing too. This is another thing that I had to learn about through, I guess, finding out about the Civil War, right? Like, what the fuck does it matter to me, right? Because I'm a Mexican American and shit, right? But I did not know that the South actually learned Latin. That they actually studied all these Greek. They had to learn like 3 different fucking languages and shit. So they weren't fucking ignorant. But the propaganda, because the histories were written by the winners. That's how it goes. I'm not saying that whatever side was right or wrong and shit, but I'm just saying like, well, I was fucking lied and thought that these people were country bumpkins and shit, and they say like the North and shit wanted fucking like not slave labor, but like, well, we could fucking just put everybody into factories and shit, right? Because they were more industrial.
First of all, the North had slaves.
No,
the
Civil
War wasn't about slavery. Like slavery was all over the continental United States at the time, and it wasn't actually that big. It was all along the East Coast down to Texas. Like every state had slavery, like New York, New Jersey, Washington.
Not anybody
could. Like all these Yankee states had slaves, and one thing that you should know about the South is that they had a system that was very much like English landowners. It was just like, you had these rich plantation owners. They would control basically the entire fucking town, just like an English lord. And so their kids and their extended family got that like highfalutin education. But most people in the South were like dreadfully poor. and didn't have very much of an education at all.
Because
Meanwhile, in the North, you had
and they was some fucking. Come on, they not only was that. Let's be real. They was inbred. They was criminals. You know what I'm saying? Hillbillies. We already know the whole redneck.
Well, hillbillies are Yankees. Hillbillies are like the poor that lived in the mountains in the North.
Because it was sparsely populated, but this is the other thing too, right? Like
lost, dog. Like Jesus Christ. It's 2024. Them motherfuckers lost over 207, 300. How many fucking?
Well,
Yeah, but if he's talking about people in the North, though,
after the Civil War, most of those wealthy landowners were totally devastated, and then you had this period of 70 years.
They got money. They got their reparations.
No, they didn't get any money. They had all their gold and cotton and everything stolen from them, and then they ended up in trailer parks.
Dave,
I'm trying to tell you, like for 70 years after the Civil War, what used to be like a lot of wealth in America in the South vanished. And people in the South, white and black, were just poor in the South until like the early 1950s. And so that's where that perception of
I want to step in.
Just go ahead, rewrite history, man.
No.
Dave,
I want to thank you
this,
for that little bit of historical accuracy. No, I want to step in because actually we have to close this thing down, and I think Turin ended on a bit of a historical reality that escapes a lot of people, and I appreciate Dave trying to argue a little bit of his devil's advocate or whatever. I appreciate a countervailing argument, especially when we're having like debates and big panels. You need somebody with a different point of view. That being said, I think you're kind of coming from a position I'm very familiar with, and I don't know that a lot of people really have the sort of other knowledge that a guy like Turin just presented. It's not all the way that one side sees it.
I just want to tell
but that
Dave.
being said,
I just want to tell Dave this real quick.
Yeah.
Like, look, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't have the idea in my mind of what if they were right and I was wrong. And what if I was fed some propaganda that made me believe what the fuck I believe? You know, and then I had to kind of like follow back and kind of like see it how they would see it, right? Because obviously, right? Why isn't Mexico fucking a global power if they're fucking also like the biggest trading partner of the United States? Why ain't they like Canada? Canada has less people. Why ain't we like fucking Germany or whatever the fuck, right? Like, I could also make that shit. We got both of the coasts. You know how many people fucking die for a fucking opportunity to be able to fucking have both sides of the coast and the fucking ports and shit like that?
Why isn't Mexico?
Yes,
why
a
isn't
global
Mexico
empire.
like Canada? That's a wild question to get off. We got to end on that question. Why isn't Mexico like Canada? Let people think on that. Let people simmer on that.
Like Dragon Ball Z.
Until we come back with another show. Yeah, until next time. Why isn't Mexico like Canada? But we got to close this thing down, man. And also, real quick, thank you to Georgia Swan with the $5 Rumble chat. Appreciate everybody who came in support of the show tonight. This is the first time we like migrated the audience from YouTube to Rumble. This was a little bit of a test run, and it was a bang. It was more than successful. I wasn't sure how it would go. I just figured I'd give it a shot because you got to try things. You got to put yourself out there.
It was a smooth transition, Hood. I was rather impressed.
Smooth criminal. I fucking love it, man. I love all you guys for coming and following me over. And thanks to the panelists for helping this show fill itself out on the other platform. We need you guys too, man. Because I basically made the Rumble half the platform. I mean the panel half. We're gonna probably do it like that going forward. A lot of the panels will be Rumble exclusives. That way, we actually provide content that's worth switching over to the other.
So does that mean you're going to want me to not
uncensored? You'll be uncensored, sir.
Oh, I didn't even hear what you guys said. Say that again.
You gonna be uncensored?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I'm trying to work on my craft here, but I'm also trying to learn how to spread out across the platforms. You know, put my finger in all the pies, as they say. But I got to get up way before the crack of dawn, so I'm gonna finish eating and I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you once again. Shout out to everybody that came through tonight. Appreciate all the support, all the donations, all the chats in the comments. I mean, in the comment section. Thank you so much for coming through tonight.
I need that money.
I wish
You
everybody
guys
New
have a
Year's and
great night.
shit. I love all y'all and shit. I don't got no hate in my heart, so it is what it is.
I mean, I have righteous
Yeah,
say that is the hate.
Yeah, I was gonna say Midwest. We're on the next level up here. It's okay to not like things. It's all right. We're not gonna fight you about it. We just want you to explain it clearly. That's all.
No, I just don't have no hate in my heart. I could dislike things, but not have any hate behind it and shit. It's business and efficiency, not hate.
Just wait a little
Yeah,
bit.
I hear you. I hear you. And we joke about shit. It's all tongue in cheek. Don't get too overboard with it. But that being said, we're gonna get up out of here, man. You guys have a great night. America first, Jeets last. We're done.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.